championship. He finished 10th in the US Open, and he actually made it to the quarterfinals in the 1922 PGA Championship held at Oakmont Country Club. He lost to the eventual finalist, Emmett French, who lost to Gene Sarazen in the finals. So pretty incredible to do that on your home course. With all that said, a lot of people often ask me about Emil, and I describe him as, in the most respectful way, he's the most famous man you may have never heard of. And the story I love to tell, actually, in Ginger, this occurred 3 or 4 years ago. Ginger brought us at Oakmont, she brought us 2 binders full. These binders are this big, full of pictures of the golf course of Emil, and one of them was full of articles from newspaper clippings from Emil. And you take a look at this binder, and the first thing that comes to mind is, wow, this guy obviously was pretty famous if there's this much printed about him back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And then you get to the middle of the binder, and you open it up, and there's this front page article of Emil holding his 2 twins. So you think to yourself, how famous was this guy? I mean, front page news, him having twins with his wife. So he truly was golf royalty, and that's the type of fame he carried, not only in Pittsburgh, but in the golf world. So you think about his playing acumen and how incredible he was, but really Emil was first and foremost, he was the green superintendent at Oakmont. And Walter Hagen was quoted as saying, "I regard Emil Loeffler as one of the finest golfers we have in America. My prediction is that he will win one of the big championships someday." This just goes to show Walter Hagen, one of the finest golfers in the United States at that time, preaching about his golfing ability. And then in the same article, his good friend Gene Sarazen is quoted as saying, "He does hold one championship. That is the title of being the best greenskeeper in America." So we've got a guy at Oakmont, one of the finest golfers in America, and the best greenskeeper. When I told our superintendent, David Del Sandro, about this playing acumen, he pointed out that I'm not even the best golfer in my household. Thanks for that, David. Big shoes to fill. One quick story about Emil, because so we have the playing side of things and we have the green side of playing things. He was an authority on golf course maintenance and architecture. So much so that he designed over 20 golf courses in the area. But one story I love to tell about him, and this carries in line with the phones, and he shared the same mantra of a short poorly played should be a shot irrevocably lost. It took place in 1945 when Oakmont was hosting a war bond exhibition between Sam Snead, Gene Sarazen, and Byron Nelson. And in the practice round, Sam Snead hit it over a newly installed bunker on hole number 7. So immediately, Emil returns to his office and calls WC on the phone, who's at his summer home in Cape Cod, informs him of what happened. WC says, "Can we get a bunker in there by tomorrow?"
And they did.
Emil replies, "Sir, I thought you'd never ask. Plans are already underway. It'll be in by tomorrow." Sure enough, Snead hits his drive in the bunker the next day, makes bogey on the hole. My last remark this evening, I'd just like to speak to Emil's personal character. We know he was an incredible golfer, incredible greenskeeper, incredible architect, really instrumental in Western Pennsylvania golf. Quite frankly, he could be in the Hall of Fame for any single one of those things. He just happens to be all 3. But one more thing that he did was he was a war hero. He fought in World War I. He was drafted in 1917, fought in 2 battles in France, was actually injured in action. He was gassed, mustard gas. And this quote from Emil was during training after he left Oakmont. And he refused to take a paycheck from the US government. Emil stated, "I am in the National Army to serve my country. I do not want her to have to pay me a cent for my services. She is feeding and clothing me. That is enough." I think that's a quote this family can be incredibly proud of.